Yeah, because otherwise it was going to be in the way. So if I'd have set one up any other way without moving all this stuff, it would have been easily knocked over.
Right.
I kind of learned that yesterday. So, where you're kind of standing with the camera right in front, so you get the straight on view, and then it's in your way, or you got it here and it's off to the side, and then you get the side angle. So, all right, well, we're live.
Good morning, sir.
Rusty's phone just went off, so that tells me we're live. Morning, Tom. Morning, Charlie. It is turned on. The Blackstone is turned on. Well, you can't see the way I got the camera angle, but it is turned on. Lee and Rusty will be soon. I don't do the countdown thing. I guess I should figure out how to do that, where they do the countdown like 20 seconds, 30 or 20, 19, 18. Yeah, you did start mid-conversation. So we were talking about camera angles. I'm trying this different setup. I think I was telling him that this will be the third cook with this setup, with this camera angle and stuff. Well, not first with the camera angle, but with the Blackstone E series set up in this area, and I did that. What was it? The faux cheesy grits, shrimp and grits, shrimp and faux grits, or something like that. I did that on here. I did a cook last night, try and mess around with it on the E series last night. Answered some questions for myself. We'll get into that in a little bit, but yeah. So I thought I was out here last night, piddle farting around, and I said, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and roll with it and just keep out here tonight. Chance of rain today, and it's 40 degrees. It's a little chilly, but not much. So
there's raindrops on my windshield heading out here this morning, so I think it's a good idea we're inside today.
Yep. So, do you want to cook or do you want me to?
No, I don't even know what we're cooking, so.
Oh, well, that's probably a good thing. So I've got some leftover turkey from. It's raining here and windy. Trying to send to Charlie. Yeah. So what I have here is we're going to use some leftover turkey, and instead of doing a normal pot pie, I concocted this. Basically, it's biscuits with the pot pie filling on top,
like a gravy biscuit.
Like you serve biscuits and gravy, okay. But it's the pot pie filling on top of the biscuits. I made it for the wife, and because you've seen the pot pies where they do the biscuits on top.
Oh yeah,
and those are nice, but the bottoms never get done.
Never,
at least in my opinion, in my experience. So what I thought we would do is I tried this once before, and I did the biscuits, and then I did the pot pie filling, and then opened it up, open face, like biscuits and gravy, and then just poured the filling on top, and it worked awesome. It was very, very, very tasty. The wife approves. So, and it's very budget friendly. I think I got the jars. I'm doing a jar gravy for simplicity, and they were like $1 or $2 or something like that, under $3. I think it was 2 for $3 or something like that. So that was there, and then the frozen veggies were a couple bucks on markdown. Plus, I already had turkey, so. And then a can of biscuits was like $2.50, so we're under $6.
Cool.
So, should stuff the biscuits with the pot pie filling. That would, like a jelly donut, that would be awesome. And that was a thought, but I wanted to do. I Nope.
That's something that my mama did whenever I was growing up and I was little at the house. She would take canned biscuits, pull it in half, and use her rolling pin and roll them out flat, cup one up, put another layer on top, and crimp the ends and made us little like pizza pockets.
Yeah.
But my mama used to do that.
So I've done it with like a sausage, not a gravy, but like a sausage mixture, where I opened the biscuit halfway, filled it, and then crimped the ends, and then baked it. I actually got a video on that. I think we did tomato soup and cheese, so it was kind of like a grilled cheese and tomato soup in a bite. It was very good. But or do you want to do this, or you want me to? I don't care. Can you read the comments because it's on the small screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So shotgun shells is a possibility. I will move over here then.
I've tried the shotgun shells a couple times, and the pasta just never gets done right the times that I've done it. I've stuffed them, let them sit in the refrigerator overnight, let them try to absorb some of the moisture from the fat in the sausage. I mean, I've done all the little tricks that I see, and I just don't like the texture of the pasta whenever it's done.
Madwood, what's going on, buddy? So I'm like right here, and Rusty's within arm reach, so I can look at the comments here and still kind of keep up. If I wanted to, you know.
I see what you mean about that big glare spot.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it'll go away once I get stuff on it. So let me get heated up. I should have turned it on earlier, but it's okay. So we'll go through the cast of characters. Of course, we got butter. Got to have some butter.
As you guys see the camera angle, there's only one camera on the actual Blackstone, so we're not going to be in the frame today.
I got a small bag of mixed vegetables. I guess I should turn it that way so y'all can see. I got about a pound of turkey breasts that I grilled up. That video is coming. And I got them diced. Kind of not super fine, not super anything, just chopped. I got 2 jars of the Heinz turkey gravy.
That blind spot is blacking it out.
Yeah.
Maybe you can move it towards the corners or something else.
It's all right. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Salt, pepper, and then, of course, hot sauce for Rusty, because he's like, hey, you always need hot sauce. And then I got some jumbo biscuits.
Madwood says they got a 1/4 inch of ice and 2 inches of snow.
Yikes.
Slicker than sheet out there.
Yeah, that would be.
We actually had our first snow already. Granted, it was just flurries for about an hour, but it was the earliest that I can remember ever. Can't say ever, but in a very long time of us having what we could actually call snow.
Yeah, when you posted something about that, and I went and looked out the window, and I was like, the guy can't see. There's no way he's seeing flurries. There's no way he's seeing these little microscopic specks flying across the windshield.
Well, I was coming home, and it was hitting me like the old Windows 95 Starfield screensaver with the stuff coming at you. And we got home, and kids was out taking pictures. Then you look on Facebook, and everybody's putting Facebook pictures and photos on.
Yeah. It was like an hour and a half later that I finally we saw flurries here. I was like, that guy ain't, no.
Oh, it's 19 degrees out there.
Yeesh.
I don't believe we would be cooking out at 19.
Well, we'd be in here, that's for sure. I was going to go, like I said, we were going to do this outside. I was running through the cook in my head, how I was going to do everything, the biscuits in the Dutch oven. And then, the skillet probably on top of the Dutch oven, using that heat and all that. And I even got a small bag of charcoal just for the cook. And then I was in here last night, and what I was doing last night took way longer than I anticipated. Partly because of my misunderstanding and my memory is jacked, so I should have went opposite of the way I thought it was.
So you did this completely by memory? You didn't go back and recheck the video or anything?
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that mistake number 2. One was thinking I could do it without watching the video, and 2 was doing it without watching the video. So for anybody wondering, I was trying to, if you watch Bruce Mitchell, we've talked about him a couple weeks ago. He does a brew base where he just browns the flour on his Blackstone. Well, I don't have a steel Blackstone. I have this E-Series, which I got on a very good deal, really. It was $50 like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the idea was, can I do it on an E-Series? And I started out at like 300. I got it up temp, and I put a white, cleaned it off with water like he did. I wasn't trying to remove oils. I was just trying to remove dust and dirt and whatever from being out here not being used. So, long story short, I started out at 300 and put a cup of flour down, and I think I was about 30 minutes into it, and I was like, this isn't working. I upped it to 325. Still was, it was starting, but it was really slow. And then I was like, okay. So eventually, as a rookie YouTuber that I am, this is why people don't watch, I did not keep times. So I have no idea how long this actually took me. But I know I was out here roughly 2 hours.
You'll know during the edit.
Well, no, because I didn't have it running the whole time.
Oh, okay.
I was like, hey, I'll be back when I start getting some color or whatever. And then it paused. And it's still like a 30-minute video that I've got to edit down. And, well, let's just say Mr. Bruce Mitchell is the man. Because it took me probably about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. And, yeah, I totally screwed the pooch on that one.
Tom says time spends differently in the bear cave.
It does. It does. And so what had happened was I was up to about 375 degrees. My wife came out. She said, what in the heck are you doing? Well, she didn't say heck, but what the hell are you doing? And I said, well, I'm trying to do this video where I'm trying to basically toast flour so I can make a roux and put it in the freezer and make a gumbo later. She goes, okay. Because the whole roux gumbo thing, I've not made a gumbo because I don't want to screw up the roux, if that makes sense. So I saw Bruce do this, and I was like, you know what? I can do that. And if I have that ready to go, then it's just a dump and go, right? So I was up to about 400, and we're talking, we're an hour and almost 2 hours in, and the wife says, hey, why don't you up the temperature more, or are you maxed out? And I said, no, I can up it some more. And she said, okay, we'll up it. So I was like, you know what? I'm impatient. I ran out of coffee. I drank I drank 2 Cokes, and I said, man, I got to go to bed soon. And I just took it up to 475. I should have went there first because that's when things started happening. Now, each time I took the temperature up, and I would let the flour sit, and then I would kick it around, and it would start to toast, but then it would just stop. So, word to the wise, start it high, and I put a cup of flour down, which I think was a little too much for this E-Series, because he uses 2 cups on a 36-inch. So, what's half a 36? 15, 18. So, 1 cup should have been nice, but I had about that much thickness all the way across. So maybe that was too much. I don't know, but I moved it around, and everything. And let me show you what I ended up with when I put the oil in it. So I got it. He said you get it to like a brownie mix color, and that's what I did. And then I added my oil. Now this has been in the freezer, but that's what I got. Looks like a big turd because it's sitting right there. But that is my chocolate roux for gumbo. So they said you could freeze it, so that's what I did. Because I don't know when I'm going to make the roux. But as soon as I added the oil and it turned into this brownie batter, I was so excited and so pleased that that's what I got.
It looks just like it's supposed to.
So will the E-Series, I answered my own question, will the E-Series cook a roux? Yes, it will. Now, the other option that I kicked around was, doing it on a cast iron grill. Does that make any difference? No. It's just going to mean I'm going to get flour all over the dang place. That was my next
question. How messy was this process?
Pretty messy. Actually, at one point, I'm going to leave it in the video where I was scooping it around and a bunch of the flour shot off the front.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh!
I was wondering, doing that indoors. I mean, that definitely looks like a process for an outdoor griddle. But I was wondering how messy that was going to be for you.
Yep. It turned out to be kind of messy, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the time out here, and I kept telling myself, don't walk away from it. Don't walk away from it. So I would for only a minute or two and let it just kind of sit and bake and then toss it and then let it sit and bake and then toss it. So I did get a better process. I'm going to probably redo the video, just redo it for me, just to try to and see if doing it a different way is better.
And after you get it edited out and ready to post and upload, make sure you tag Bruce in it so he'll watch it and he'll give you a call and let you know, hey, next time do this, buddy.
Yeah, I wanted to put in the comments to see if he'd respond and be like, okay, dude, what did I do wrong? And he'll be like, watch the video. Because he was done in like 20 minutes, he said. This whole video was 5. But he was done in he said, it takes 20, 30 minutes. And I was, at one point I looked at the clock and I said, I know it's been an hour. Because of what time I had looked at the clock, not knowing what time I had started.
Right.
So I was like, I'm in this at least 2.5 hours. And I was like, I should have just put the oil in it and just done it in a skillet. But
Tom said, wait for the one person who thinks it's a baby Ruth and bites into it.
Well, so fortunately, nobody else gets into the freezer. So whoop. Oh, can you cook biscuits on a Blackstone E-Series? What do you think?
I think it's possible.
How about
Pickle said throw it into a pool and see everyone scatter.
Yeah. So my hot spot's right here on this thing, and then down here's your cool zone. This is the front, by the way. So that's why I've got everything moved over here. It's like this is the main hot zone. This is the secondary hot, like the not as hot as that one. And then this is the cooler zone. So this is like the medium zone. So yeah, we'll just let that sit there for a minute. Look at that glare is pretty nasty. These will cook up, but what else do we got?
Maybe I'll try and point that away a little bit. Maybe the glare will go away.
The light?
Yeah.
Well,
no, it looks like just because of where it's hanging, that light is going to be there.
And I did that on purpose. Like I put the light over that just for this, because without it, I didn't have no other light over here. And the first video that I shot was the shrimp and faux grits on the E-Series. And I had my little work lights, kind of like this. I had these set up different places, and I mean, y'all saw how dark that video was. So not recommended. So I went ahead and put up my work light, clamp light, and did that. So
gotta be like a plastic filter or something we could put on top of that.
Yeah, well, when I have the camera off to the side, you don't get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just because of its location.
Because the camera is straight up here, and the light is straight up there. Does it make sense? Camera or light? Camera. So how was everybody's Thanksgiving? I know I didn't hear any how yours went. You didn't do a live?
No, I didn't do a live. I was up at 3:30 getting everything going, getting my turkeys all fried up, the ribs done, had one Boston butt. Boston butt I actually started the night before, of course, but it was good. I actually got everything cooked. Everybody had everything picked up and was gone before 11 o'clock. So
okay.
Then I sat down and rested. The kitchen's in a mess. Teresa had to work till 12 o'clock. So she wasn't in there telling me, get this cleaned up, clean this up, clean this up.
Yeah.
So I sat down on the couch and rested. And we had to be at my family's on Thanksgiving at 1 o'clock. So I just rested and then took a shower, got everything ready and left. I didn't do any cleaning up until we got home.
And oh, geez.
Teresa didn't come home from work. She went from work straight to Samantha's house. And so whenever we came home, she had no idea what she was fixing to walk into.
Oh.
And so, but I mean, I did. I got everything cleaned up. Didn't ask her to help or nothing. I mean, I had it all done. And whenever we went to bed Thursday night, the kitchen was all completely back to normal.
Okay. Yeah, we, so.
Pickle said he had a good Thanksgiving, did a rotisserie turkey
Ooh.
with pecan and cherry wood and a giblet gravy.
Oh, giblet. Ooh, yeah.
Giblet. I never have understood how that word is actually pronounced. I've heard it done both giblet and giblet, and I don't know if there's a correct.
I think it's like pecan and pecan.
Right.
Tom
said his Thanksgiving got postponed till this coming Friday. His son got sick.
Ooh. Well, I hope he's feeling better. So I started. So Wednesday. Wow, Wednesday was fantastic. It was 68 degrees, and it had a wind. But I made my fireball pumpkin pies, and I decided to do them in a Dutch oven. And this is the first time I've done pies in a Dutch oven.
Is that what's in the refrigerator now next to the creamer when I make coffee? I'll get me a piece then before we leave. So
it was pretty good. I substituted, so I played around with it because, I mean, I don't need all that sugar. So I substituted the 1.5 cups of sugar with 1 cup of coconut sugar and 1/2 cup of the brown Splenda. It's just because that's what I had. The white Splenda probably would have been better. But with you don't get as much cinnamon flavor. You get more of a bourbon-y flavor, which is kind of odd. But that video will be coming up. I used the char logs because I was all out of regular briquettes. And I did them on the Dutch oven table. So I used the char logs. I don't like those. I really don't like those. I think if they're mixed in your charcoal basket in a smoker, I can kind of see it. But using it on the Weber kettle and in the as far as Dutch oven cooking, I didn't really care for it.
those things actually, they look too big to me for that use. I mean, great for throwing in a fire underneath, like in the pit that you have in the backyard. They're great for that. But those are some really big pieces of wood.
It was they're compressed sawdust basically, and I mean it worked.
Just like a jumbo pellet.
Yeah, it worked, but there was just it seemed like I had to tend to it a lot more, moving around because you can only get one little spot going instead of the whole thing, because once you got the whole thing ashed over, it would fall apart. So I did have a little issue with that. I didn't like it. I did try. Let me check.
Stickle said, talking about his son, it sounds like he's evolutionary weak. Kick him out of the family.
So here, I mean, you see, we're looking good right there. We got good color. Got good color. That one feels a little doughy yet, so we'll move them down here.
Not much rising in that one.
No. And they're not touching either. They're not like. So, yeah. So, we can go ahead and get on with the show. But, so it's a cinnamon whiskey pie that I usually make, and Cub was excited, and the whiskey, will cook off, but she was super excited, and then because it came out more bourbony, she wasn't a fan of it, and because Honey Badger said to try it, I put brown or black pepper in the mix. Amp the spice a little bit, and that was part of what Cub didn't like. Was it was too spicy for her. But otherwise, I thought they were really good. I had a guy that I walk with. I took some to him, and he told me that it was different. It wasn't like a normal pumpkin pie that he's used to having, but he really enjoyed it. So there's our biscuits. I'll set these over here with another plate over top to help hold the heat in.
They're going to be frozen again by the time we get to them.
So now I want to just dump this veg in here. But I'll show you the other thing that I tried too with this, and I don't want to call it a fail just yet because I more of a learning experience. Because when you're using the camp ovens, you're supposed to use the ones with lip, right? Yeah. And I'll show the difference in just a sec. Now is that glare gone?
It's toned down a good bit, but it's not gone.
Okay. I figured it would be once we got some stuff on it. So this is the lid you should use for cooking charcoals outside, okay? Because it holds here and your ashes don't fall off. Excuse me. With the char logs, they sit up higher, so ash did get all over, and it wasn't as bad with this lid. With that said, I don't know where I put that. Oh, it's right here. With that said, I had Gloria with this lid. Well, it's the same style lid. Now, what I did with that is because the coals would just fall off, especially the char logs, I took this expanded metal, made a ring to hold my coals. Awesome, right? Hell yeah. Problem I didn't anticipate was because I was using the char logs, yes, this held it, but all the ash fell out the side. So that caused a problem, a mighty big problem. So, but I was able to keep the ash to a minimum. So I've got to work on a way to seal this in to keep with probably just aluminum foil, and just to keep the ash from falling through all these little holes, all this space. Does that make sense?
So it seems to me just get just a regular piece of sheet metal and just cut it and attach it and then make your circle with sheet metal so there's no gap, no hole for the ashes to fall through.
Yep. And that would work too. I just thought aluminum foil is usually more readily available than a piece of sheet metal around the old bear cave.
Yeah, but if that's something you're going to be using all the time, it'd be worth it just to go ahead and make one.
Yep. Did I just pull a rusty and throw some on the floor?
Just a couple pieces.
Did I? I don't see anything.
And you know what? That's probably just. I thought that was
left over from last night. Cheese and peas. Man, I had cooked flour everywhere. And that once you get that brown roux, man, that stuff was, I mean, it was like concrete trying to clean up a couple of spots. So we're just going to lightly toast this and
foil is too simple of a solution. It needs to be more complicated.
Okay. Well, I have other. Let me show you what else I have, because I have other ideas, and I used one. Where did it go? Oh. So this. Let me close this lid before I put this dirty crap on there above the veg. All right. Let me close this for a second. So I have this thing, which is the base of a charcoal grill, the ash pan, like you're supposed to have the little lever here to move it closed, and there's another piece that sits inside. And I've used this in it once, and it worked fine. It really did. But using the size of it that I was using this time, it sits up a little bit higher, so then the ash does fall through. You know, I thought it'd be easier just to do this. We got to talk about different stuff. So this was the problem. It sits right in the center, which is okay if that's where I want all my heat, but I want it down on the sides too. So this one was too small. Hence why I didn't use it. Now this ring, I picked this up at the dollar store. I don't know what it's for, cheesecake or something. I don't know. I've used it a couple times and it fits really well. And it has the holes in it, so I do get airflow. I should have used this one, but I had made up that expanded metal one and thought, ooh, I'm going to do this because I just made it. So,
do the microwave room.
You know, I'm researching, and I saw where they do the microwave, and I saw a fella do it in the oven. And the fella did it in the oven. I don't know how his stuff worked, because I want to say he had 350. I'd have to go back and look because obviously my memory's crap. So, but it might have been 450. But he was done in like 20 or 30 minutes, and he made a whole big sheet pan. He just dumped it in the sheet pan, threw it in the oven for a short amount of time, and boom, done.
Tom said microwaves are bad. They secretly reprogram our brain.
Yeah, but I remember the first time we got a microwave.
I do too.
Stuff these kids will never know. I guess it's kind of like the air fryer, you know. Everybody was all about the air fryers, and there hasn't been any other big cooking appliance. I mean, Blackstone, everybody was buying the Blackstones, but nothing compared to the microwave, I don't think. in my opinion. I could be wrong.
Pickle said he's done it together. It takes a long time, but it works.
What was your temperature? 450? So now I've got a pound of turkey breast. Now, what was interesting was I was at the grocery, obviously, and looking at, you know, the meat markdowns or whatever. They had this stuff called turkey steak. What the heck is that? Well, it's turkey breast sliced like pork chops that they called turkey steaks. Interesting.
Pickle said he can't remember the temp. It wasn't that high, and it took over 2 hours.
Okay. So I got these turkey steaks, and Wednesday, because it was so nice and I was doing my thighs outside, I fired up the old Temu grill, or the new Temu grill, and I cooked. Oops, I just lost one. I cooked these turkey breast steaks on that. Now I didn't shoot a video on that, but I did like take some pictures of cooking on the grill and Chefstemp stuff, pictures and whatnot, and then went ahead and I'm going to add some of those pictures to the video of the Temu grill review. Does that make sense? That was a lot. That was a mouthful. Temu grill review. Cheers, everybody. So, but I've never heard like, and I know the stores will put stuff out to make you go, oh hey, that's not just a sliced turkey breast, it's a turkey steak. But man, I lost another pea down the chute. Fortunately, there's nothing in that pan, so like, yeah. So anybody that has an E-Series, this little pan goes to the in the camping aisle. They have those little Blackstone Adventure whatevers. That's the pan for that. I'm gonna throw my 2 peas back in. That's the pan for that, and it fits width-wise very well right in there. It's just you lose half your. You can't see that, can you? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. So you lose about half of your grease capacity, but instead of putting foil in there all the time, I think that works. I like this a lot better.
And I don't even use the little aluminum pans on my food. I just spin out with the grease trap.
Yeah. What I find with that is the grease will take the paint off the inside. Have you noticed that?
I have noticed that.
So then what ends up, I find, or found, was that's what rusts. And then, you're scrubbing it. And just like the old gas grills, that's mainly what I'm going off of experience with gas grills. That's what rusts out. And a lot of times those are the harder pieces to find, to replace. Could be wrong. Could be just looking in the wrong spot. Of course, back in the day when I was gas grilling a lot, we didn't have Amazon. Amazon was what Wonder Woman was. So I got 2 jars of this gravy. The little Heinz turkey gravy. I got 2 jars because the last time I made this, one, the tall one, was just enough. So it was like, I'd want a little bit more. So, and it was actually cheaper to buy 2 than the tall one, which gives me actually about, I think, 4 more ounces. I know, whatever. And because I'm just going to reheat, I'm just heating this up. I'm going to kick the heat down to like 250. So I was at 3 1/4. Now I'm going to 250. Why? I'm just heating it up and I don't want to burn anything. Second jar, these are the 12-ounce ones.
I've never bought their turkey gravy, but their brown gravy is really good.
Yeah. Usually I'll make the gravy, but this was just so easy, and you're trying to do like a quick leftover meal like the next morning or whatever after. Oops. And once this gets plated up, you'll be like, whoa. And then your guests will be like, whoa. I mean, mine won't, but mine are like, ew. But I don't have that many guests. So speaking of which, they will be in next month. So, but what I did learn with I don't want to call it a fiasco, the test run of the gravy, let's call it that. The roux, the test run of the roux. Because it took so gosh darn long, easily, the in-laws are in town, you just say, hey, I've got to make this for a video coming up, and hey, there's 2 hours.
You were breaking the garage. Yeah,
there's 2 hours of solitude. Or like for you, you'd be outside.
Pickle says, how much do you charge your guests?
Well, unfortunately, we don't. But they will buy stuff while they're here for dinners, pizzas, donuts. Donuts are a sore subject, but so.
You got to have the right ketchup.
Yep, I got to have the right ketchup. I just kind of succumbed to where, so my brother-in-law only uses Heinz ketchup. If you take the store brand and put it in the Heinz ketchup, he will go buy a new Heinz ketchup. Like, no kidding. So, I don't know. So we buy the Heinz ketchup, and I've just, unless I'm using it right away, I just succumb to buying their Heinz ketchup. But does that look good and sloppy?
It does.
Let's get a couple of pictures here.
People say ketchup for donuts?
No, so the story with the donuts is my wife and one of our guests went and got donuts for everybody, right? And they came home and they had their donuts, and they told everybody, hey, the donuts are here, you're ready, whenever you're ready. Well, Peggy's boyfriend comes over, the boy's there, and he goes in to get donuts, and the guest went through and told him exactly which ones not to eat because they were for other people. Yeah, because they got the whole like variety, whatever. So she's like, this is for so and so, this is for so and so, to where majority of all the donuts were spoken for. He didn't get any. So he was basically told you can't have any. So that's been kind of the joke. So I buy the boy donuts, whether they're in town or not. I laugh about it, and then I'm like, dude, you know, I've been there, I know, and then I'll buy the boy donuts.
When you all get donuts, where do y'all get them from?
They usually go up to Krispy Kreme because they don't have one up there, up north, where they're from. Don't wanna.
Your plate big enough?
Nope, but that's okay because I wanted this as a kind of set it off to the side. I'm gonna cut this off. I'll turn it back on later to clean because we're going to take. Can you see the biscuit over here on the side? Yeah, kind of. So I'm going to open up the biscuit. Get 2 of them because they're that good. Okay. Really good on time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a quick, really easy, basically just reheat meal. The only cooking involved, like really baking or I'd say strenuous thing is the...
Good morning there, Daddy Dutch.
What's up, Kent? You know, the only kind of strenuous thing I would say is the making the biscuits. I do love me some biscuits. Mm-hmm. Here we go. There's that. Now, I've got some chopped parsley because y'all remember cooking with Corey. He always said you gotta chef it up. All right. Put a little bit over there. Okay. Now Rusty don't give a darn. He just wants like put it on my plate. And you set up the.
Honey Badger says he's jealous. We have a Krispy Kreme.
Yep.
Funny thing about Krispy Kreme, when Tommy was in the Boy Scouts, we one of our fundraisers was we sold Krispy Kreme donut cards that had 12 coupons in it or on it. It's where you buy a dozen, you get a dozen free. And I still have some of those to this day. And Tommy got his Eagle back in 2019. And so he hasn't been in the Scouts in, 6 years? And I still got bunches of these coupons that we got from the Boy Scouts.
What do y'all think of that?
I think it looks good.
Look, you think it looks good? Well, let me scoot the laptop back. Do y'all want to see Rusty eat? Let me see. So if we do, if I go to here, oops, not that one. Let me figure it out. Video image, nope, that's not it. I have to play around. New layout settings. Camera. Boom. There he is.
Hey, tilt this down.
Yep.
Yeah, they got the Harry Potter donut. My daughter is a huge Harry Potter fan, and she's getting those. But I'm a little fuddy dud when it comes to donuts. I want the original glazed plain Jane donut. I don't want no toppings. I don't want nothing stuffed. I don't want none. I just want a regular glazed donut.
Imagine that.
We have a place here called Momo's Donuts, And in my opinion, those are just as good, if not better, than the original Krispy Kreme donuts. And they're so much thicker and fluffier. And so I haven't been to Krispy Kreme in a long time. It's probably 2 years. And whenever I do get donuts, it's not very often, but we'll go get a dozen of those glazed donuts, and they are so good.
I'm making this plate for Mama. You can go ahead and, you want hot sauce?
No, not really.
Here's your Fireball hot sauce. Oh, you need a fork. You're supposed to eat that with your fingers. Just kidding. There you go.
Thank you, sir.
I'm making Mama's plate now. And this is a little different take on biscuits and gravy and pot pie. That's the salt and pepper, because that's the one thing he's gonna say. It needs salt. Let me take this into Mama. I'm just going to say this is the plate that I'm going to use for obvious reasons. If anybody paid attention
Because you
yesterday,
like Ohio State.
if anybody paid attention yesterday,
You like Ohio State every day.
I do. But yesterday was the big game, the Ohio State Teton game. Which,
Did they win?
yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Because, I don't keep up with college ball.
I know. Mm-mm-mm. So Mama was excited that I gave her plate.
This is really good. The vegetables still they're really, really good crisp texture. They're not mushy at all. That gravy is really, like I said, I've never had their turkey gravy in the jar, and it is really good.
All right. I'm going to put a little bit of hot sauce on mine just because I'll put it on part. Not a lot of it, but
And adding the salt and pepper, that really helped it.
yep. What I find is, of course, y'all know that is everybody likes their different saltiness and whatever, especially here at my house. So I kind of look, with stuff like this when you're using a lot of canned or pre-made. I like to let them salt it, which I think works out really well. So, so are you? You're a fan?
Yes, I am. This is something I think would be good. Excellent idea with Thanksgiving leftovers. The next day, just throw this all in a pot, simmer it on the stove, make your biscuits, and everybody can just do what you did. Open face the biscuits, pour it on, and that's a whole nother meal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you don't have the hassle of getting a pie crust and doing all that.
Whenever I make pot pies at home, I have to actually, I don't ever make the crust. I go buy the pre-made crust. But nobody at my house likes biscuits on top of the pot pies. They like it with their actual crust. And so that's the way I got to do it whenever I make them at home. But me personally, I don't care.
This though, I mean, I'm biased because it's kind of my recipe, but I think it's fantastic. I like this better than an actual pot pie. That's just me. Probably because it reminds me of biscuits and gravy, and the biscuits are all done. But
we get those banquet chicken and turkey and beef pot pies from the grocery store.
There he is. Yeah, the little pot pies.
Right.
I've got a whole bunch. I got about 4 of them in there that I want to do in a Dutch oven. Because I have not seen, and I know it's possible, camera shot really Rusty uses on, where it's angled down. I got you. We had the other screen up. I'm sorry. 66 birds? Wow. Dang. Have you seen, I sent you the video where the guy had this big, it was like a big, huge.
Oh, that fryer?
Square fryer.
Oh, man.
And he dumped in 20 birds before he fell. And he fell off the step stool, or the step that he was on. But I've seen so many others where they had like 25 or 30 birds hanging, and they used a crane to lift it up and slowly put it down into a homemade fryer that was, I don't know, it seemed like it was like 5 yards wide, and that shit was crazy. But I also started watching a lot of the little reels and stuff of people frying their turkeys. Where they set them in and they go real slow.
Right. and then at the very end, they lose control of it and drop it. And
then flames shoot up. But I did not see one that exploded. So I don't know where that show got that idea. So, for those of you that encourage us to do mukbangs, here we are. Leg of my table's in the way of me, but it's all right. Don't move. It's fine. Dude, you're going to knock it off, and then I'm going to be pissed. You knock it off and cause a problem, you're going to get fired.
I really depend on this check, too.
Well, at least your belly does. I usually don't tell him what we're making unless he's making it.
Now, when I left the house this morning, you had just posted the little placeholder of the YouTube video. We know what we were doing. So I just saw it. So I had an idea, but no idea of the process, just an idea of the product.
And that's the way I roll. I try to do things a little unconventional just to show that you can do it. I mean, yeah, this would have been better in a skillet cook the biscuits in the oven. It might have been better, but for, you know, let's try to change it up a bit. So what do y'all do with your leftover Thanksgiving dinner? I'd seen, and has anybody seen the DiGiorno? That was back up. The DiGiorno Thanksgiving dinner pizza? I cannot find one.
No, I don't remember even hearing about that.
So it was out last year. They only did like certain places got it. And it, Polly Detmers did a video on it last year. And then, I think, what's the guy? He does the What Are We Eating? I can't think of his name right now. But he just did one and loved it. I've looked and looked and looked, and I can't find it anywhere around us. So, and by that I mean my end of town, because I'm not driving an hour, or you know, even if they had it, I wouldn't drive an hour for it. Turkey and noodles, hell yeah. So my aunt, that's one thing that
I remember us doing that last year.
Yeah.
You found a store brand that's close to hers.
Yeah. My aunt makes egg noodles from scratch, and I've missed them dearly, and so it was funny because my cousin in Georgia had found a packaged noodle, Aunt Annie's or Aunt Millie's or something like that, but and it was very, very close to hers, to my Aunt Darcy's. And so anyway, my cousin sends me this picture of 2 bags in a pot. So she was getting ready to make turkey and noodles. Well, then my Aunt Darcy sends a picture of her noodles in the pot. And I was like, oh, like to say I drooled in my beard a little would be an understatement. I miss those noodles. I've never made egg noodles from scratch. Like, I'm just not a dough person. I do biscuits from scratch, but that's about it. That's it. I tried bread in a bread machine, and I screwed it up, and the machine ran the whole time and never mixed anything. So,
You know, we made 8 batches of banana bread yesterday. But Teresa has a function at church Thursday, and so we made a whole bunch of tiny loaves, individual loaves. Made some big loaves that she's taking to family and friends. But we did a lot of baking yesterday.
pot pies for sure. Turkey noodle soup. Ooh. Turkey Alfredo. Noodles are easy to make. I have my aunt's recipe, and I think this coming month when Peg gets home, because she's adventurous in cooking like that with me, I think we're going to try these noodles. I don't know if I need a noodle hanger or not. I haven't looked that far. You know, like the little wire, or it's a wooden dowel that comes up and it has like 5 or 6.
Get the noodle
hangers
attachment for the mixer.
I don't know if you need that. I just need them to hang and like kind of, they dry a little bit? I don't know. I have to look it up.
I just know they got an attachment for my KitchenAid where you put the stuff in and it goes through and it mixes it and extrudes it through the noodle makers, and then it comes out in long strips, and then you can hang it over the wire.
Yeah. It flattens it and cuts it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have it because we don't ever use it, but I just know that it's available.
And I don't know that I would use it more than once or twice unless I
Right.
really did good making these. But that'll be coming up whenever Faye gets home. She goes on break in a couple weeks, like fall break or winter break.
She's home now, isn't she, for Thanksgiving?
She was off, but she had to go back because she had to work.
Oh, okay.
So she was home Monday, Tuesday. They went to the boyfriend's house Wednesday, Thursday. They came back here Thursday afternoon, and then she drove back Thursday night.
Well, I saw y'all posted pictures of your tree, putting up the tree and stuff,
Yep.
so I thought that she was home.
No, she was only home a couple of days,
Okay.
and then she had to work. So
What did she do up there?
the job, she's got like 3 jobs, but the one is hostess at a restaurant.
Okay.
And they got her into bussing tables and stuff like that. So, there's something. But well, we've been on for an hour.
Yeah, last 20 minutes they've been watching us eat.
Yep, and we rambled the first 15. So, y'all are awesome. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Any Black Friday stuff? Did anybody find any fights? Or I think the ones that I saw in the reels were staged or AI because my wife and Cub went out and they didn't see anything crazy. We did see that they went to Target, and Target had said you're going to get this big bag full of stuff. And it was like a lip gloss, a little bar, like a mini like hotel bar of soap, and something else. It was stupid. So we went, stood in line for an hour and a half, 2 hours, to be one of the first 100 in, or 200 in, and it sucked. Where if they'd went to Lowe's gave out like a 5-gallon bucket, take down, and when you opened it, they had like a drill bit set, the little like a screwdriver set that goes in your drill.
Okay.
The bits.
The bits.
They had actual drill bit or drill bits. Yeah. And then they had little gift cards for 20% off your next $100 purchase. One of them was a $2,000 gift card for an appliance or appliances. That was the main thing. And they were only giving out like so many, but there was a guy that posted on his video of him opening his bucket, and he had like 4 of the 20% off $100 purchase. He had like 4 of those in there. So my wife was like, well, shoot, next year we're going there because they got all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, Black Friday shopping is not near as big a deal now as it was 20 years ago.
Well,
with the advent of, or invention of Amazon and all the Black Friday and Walmart deal, all that stuff is, a week and 2 weeks ahead of time now.
But what they're doing is, I don't want to cut you off, but I'm going to. They put out those deals to get you into the store, but then they do the doorbusters that aren't advertised. So you have to go, and they're not doing ads. And so like Home Depot was doing that, where you didn't get an ad. You had to go into the store to get an ad. She got the newspaper thinking there was going to be like all the holiday ads. There was like 3. And so you didn't know what the doorbusters were unless you went to the store.
And I look at it, if I don't know what they are, I don't know if I need to go there or not, so I just don't go.
Yeah. Well, like if I'd known that the bucket thing was as good as it was, you know, like my wife said, we would have went there.
Right.
So, but anywho, I didn't see anything crazy. You know, we went out in the afternoon. We went to like Academy Sports and walked around. You know, where else did we go? Lowe's. Didn't find anything interesting other than those little tiny buckets. Y'all have seen those. They're 5-gallon buckets, but they're really this big. You seen those?
No.
Yeah. So they're buckets like the 5-gallon bucket, but they're yay big.
So 2 cups.
Yeah. They're kind of funny. You know, Home Depot's got one too. But we were looking at Lowe's because they had the little mini totes. So they're totes that are like this tall, and they're like that wide. The black and with the yellow lid. It's like that, but they're little tiny. And I was like, "Ooh, I want a couple of those so I can make a gonk droid, like a small one."
Make a what?
It's a Star Wars robot. But they don't have them. Only certain Lowe's locations got them, and they only got so many. So all the viral TikTok stuff or whatever, I don't even have TikTok, but all the places everybody's seeing this stuff, it's not, only certain places got it.
Okay.
But I did see a guy a couple weeks ago that had a file for a 3D printer to print one. And he printed off all the buckets and all that stuff.
If we can find that file, my brother can do it. Speaking of which, you know, he's got 2 3D printers. He's been going crazy with that 3D printer for the last year. He just got him a 3rd 3D printer that came in Wednesday. And this one was $900, but it prints in 4 colors and it's so much bigger. And I mean, he just added to his collection. And he made this one 7-foot tall Star Wars robot. I showed you the picture. I can't remember what it was.
IG-88.
Okay. And he 3D printed the Baby Yoda. It's called
Grogu.
Okay, he printed one of them. And now on his Christmas tree, he's got that big robot, 7-foot tall, reaching up, putting Grogu on top of his Christmas tree. But he's been going crazy with that 3D printer. And at Thanksgiving dinner, I asked him, I said, just out of curiosity, how much money do you think you spent in just filament for that thing since you got it? He said, it's not that bad. I haven't even spent $500 yet. $500 just on the plastic filament to print all his toys. And if you look at his Jeep, he's unprinted every season since he got it. He's been, like right now, he's got the Grinch head on top of both headlights. He's got snowmen, the characters from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the 1964 Rankin Bass cartoon. He's printed those. You know, so much stuff on his Jeep. And like he did the same thing for Halloween. He had all kinds of goblins and ghosts and stuff. But he's loving that thing. But I thought it was neat, you know, had a 7-foot tall robot putting a little Yoda on top of the Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's funny. All right. Well, looks like everything's kind of winding down. So we're full. Now it's just clean up stuff. So I've got 2 biscuits left and a lot of filling left, which is okay. So let's get out of here. So you enjoyed it? Obviously, you damn near licked the plate clean.
Yeah, it was good. Good job.
All right. Sweet. All right. Well, let's get out of here. Remember, there's 2 rules in cooking. Did you have fun? Did it taste good? Rock on. Y'all are awesome.
Have a great week, guys.
Let's be careful out there.